From the far reaches of the Milky Way galaxy, it's Retro Nerd Girl with a quick spoiler-free film review for you. Today, I'll be reviewing the movie Desperately Seeking Susan, released in 1985. Starring Rosanna Arquette, Madonna, and Aidan Quinn. Directed by Susan Seidelman. The synopsis is, a lonely housewife, Roberta, lives vicariously through the personals. One of the couples in the personals are a rock band member and his wayward girlfriend, Susan. Mistaken for Susan, Roberta stumbles upon a botched heist for a priceless pair of Nefertiti's earrings. Imagine Diane Keaton as Roberta and Goldie Hawn as Susan. That was the original concept cast in mind for the film. I'm sure it would have been really good, but the tone would have been completely different. Orion Pictures wanted to keep the budget under $5 million, and director Susan Seidelman wanted newcomers. Rosanna Arquette and Madonna were cast to play opposite each other to appeal to a very young, hip audience in 1985, and it worked. Not only that, the inclusion of the ultra-infectious song Into the Groove and the promotion of the music video on MTV sent many teens and Madonna wannabes running to the theaters to see Madonna, who was one of the hottest recording artists of that year. The beauty of it all was that the film didn't disappoint, as its leading ladies were wonderfully portrayed and helped to hold up the story. Madonna's acting is pretty good in this. She does the role pretty naturally as her onstage persona, and it works. Susan is the classic hot mess, hobo cheese doodle eating rebel that you actually like, even though she is morally inept. She's a petty thief and a con artist, and a walking disaster wherever she goes. The only one who seems to be able to tame her is her boyfriend Jim, and her love for him is so very endearing. Her character arc seems to begin when she tries to fix her mistakes. I like the fact that Susan is the one to actually get to the bottom of Roberta's emotional core by doing a little investigative work. It's so interesting how you spend most of the movie just really wanting Roberta and Susan to finally meet up. Rosanna Arquette was particularly good as the film really focuses around her character, Roberta, and her psychological crisis of being an extremely lonely housewife, feeling out of sorts, belittled by her loveless relationship and placement in the world. There's a bit of infidelity that Roberta engages in that I'm not too crazy about, but the film makes it known that her husband Gary, a hot tub business owner, is actually cheating on her. However, it almost seems like an afterthought in order to justify Roberta's love affair with a young man by the name of Des, who has mistaken her for Susan. He takes her in and actually kind of takes care of her while she tries to figure out who she is while she has a temporary amnesia. Roberta's relationship with her husband is what really drives her to this predicament, trying to find entertainment in the personals as a way to see what love really looks like firsthand through Susan and Jim. In many ways, this movie proves that the right accessories really matter, and much of the action in this movie really revolves around these accessories. One of the iconic jackets from the film was sold at a Hollywood auction in 2014 for $225,000. And one of the earrings, just one of them, fetched for $34,000. We have a hilarious performance from Laurie Metcalf as Roberta's brash sister-in-law, and I really love the creepy performance by Will Patton as the bad guy in the film. His performance is so, it's really a whole lot of fun to watch him work in this movie, because he has so many small little micro expressions that he emotes, and it's almost as if he's talking with his eyes, the way he you can see him plan and plot what he's doing. It's almost comical, it's almost caricature like, but I thought it was very entertaining. We also get small cameos from John Turturro as a host of a magic show, and Giancarlo Esposito has a bit part playing a disgruntled street vendor. This film is also a great snapshot of New York in 1985, bringing back so many personal memories for me. I mean, just remembering how the city looked back then. I mean, it's like a wonderful time capsule. For a more modern audience, it's really tough to recommend this film for the pacing issues. It's a fun movie, but it really lacks liability for any of the actions that happen in the film, and tension. There's really no tension at all. But it does have a cheesy romance novel feel to it that kind of appeals to the audience it was geared for. It's a great film for nostalgic purposes and fans of Madonna. At the time it was released, it was very satisfying for its very light and fun story without a whole lot of forced comedy. And it was merely geared toward the MTV generation. It was absolutely fabulous seeing it again after all of these years. My rating is an 8. Well, that sums up my quick spoiler-free review. This is Retro Nerd Girl signing off. Take care, movie lovers. I'm off to my next review.